What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Kenkei's Tech Channel. Okay, I'm not a tech channel, but I'm doing tech stuff now. So, if you are a nerd who is thinking about upgrading your computer, you might have heard of this processor called Ryzen. I just recently upgraded my own PC from an Ivy Bridge Xeon server computer to 2700X Ryzen. And there has been a lot of talks that Ryzen takes a serious advantage from overclocking memory, so basically having faster memory. So this video is going to show you, at least on synthetic tests, how much headroom, how much advantage you get if you overclock your memories. So I now have my computer on, it's on the base clock memory, which is 2400 MHz, and the RAM goes all the way up to 3200 MHz. Let me show you. So this is the RAM I bought, and I don't know how the camera focuses, so you just have to trust me that it's now 16 gigabytes, so 2 8 gigabyte, and it's rated for 3200 MHz. It's Ballistix Sport gaming memory. Well, it is fast. So let's see. I'll now start running the benchmarks. First, I'm running them without the overclock. I'll show you, and in the end you can of course just jump over to the end of the video to see the comparison between the two. Let's see how it goes. So first I'm running Cinebench R15 CPU test. Okay, so the first run yielded the point of 1765. That's looking pretty good. For comparison, my old Ivy Bridge Xeon computer got 500 on this test. So at least it seems that I have gotten an upgrade. Next up, I'll be running Haven benchmark with all default settings and resolution set to Full HD. Okay, so we got an average FPS of 204 and a score of 5144. And last but certainly not least, 3D Mark Time Spy. Full HD version. Let's get rumbling. We got the combined score of 7170 with graphics score being 6998 and CPU score 8334. Next up, it is time to boot up my computer and overclock the memory, and let's see how that goes. As one last thing, in the end I will show you that it was indeed at 2400 MHz. Now our RAM is at the recommended spec 3200 MHz, and let's see how it compares. So again, first up we are running the Cinebench R15. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so initially in here we have a result of 1786, so not a big performance increase. Next up, as before, Haven benchmark, default settings, except for Full HD resolution. That yielded the average FPS of 212 with a slightly increased score of 5346. And then again, let's see how we do in Time Spy. So now we had the combined score of 7192 with graphics score being pretty much the same, 6988, and CPU score 8621. And just so this video wouldn't be too professional, there's some selfie cam footage, and I did some extra overclocking. I put 200 MHz extra overclock on the memory, which we see now that we got even better points. We got 1813 with this overclock. And I noticed that everything is on default, and the CPU was running 100 MHz lower. It used to overclock to 4.1 GHz, but now it stayed at 4.0. But we still got increased scores on these benchmarks, which I feel is kind of telling that yes, it is worth to overclock your memory, but if you want to go overclocking, you pretty much should think about going bit over even the recommended specs. So my 3200 MHz memory at 3400 MHz is giving me a considerable upgrade for my things, and because I'm running the default cooler, it's not really interfering with that. I can get more performance without super extra cooling, although having adequate cooling is pretty much required. But I hope this helped at least someone. You really should think about even getting Ryzen optimized memory, because there are also those that are pretty much spec'd for Ryzen. And I've seen that even when we go with CPU overclock and the memory overclock, you can get almost like 1950 points on Cinebench. So there are still some upgrades to be made. But for now, I'm running the stock cooler, so I'm very happy with this. Getting some extra oomph from your computer with just a little BIOS tweaking. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. And I'm now starting to get to the meat of this video for me, which is editing the video on my new computer. I really hope that the rendering time will be awesome. See ya.